sports lovers. Welcome back to Sparky's Sports Show. Standing 5'4", out of Nowhereville, Connecticut, your inflammable host, Sparky Regis.
Hello, welcome to the third episode of Sparky Sports. I'm your host, Mark Regis. Now on to our first subject, perfect games. Well, in this case, near perfect games. Armando Galarraga almost had a perfect game. He retired 26 straight batters and was down to the last one. It was a 1-1 count. It was a simple ground ball to the Miguel Cabrera, the first baseman, and Galarraga ran over to first base to cover. It was a simple toss. The pitcher caught it, and it seemed to be the 27th and final out for the 21st perfect game and the third this season. But not on Jim Joyce, the veteran umpire's count. Even though in every instant replay, in every fan in the stands, the ball was caught and had his foot on a bag, at least a foot ahead of when the runner came in, Jim Joyce, a respected umpire, called it safe. Now, Jim Joyce has been umpiring longer than I've been alive, so I think it's time for the guy to retire and get some 3-inch thick glasses. But you gotta respect the guy. When he did see the instant replay, he didn't end up apologizing. That's the first thing to admit. Admit you made a mistake, and he did. That was nice of him. And they made up. And the most amazing part, in my opinion, is the fact how Galarraga didn't even seem that disappointed. He had a smudged grin on his face, like he was trying to hide in all of his disappointments. But, you know, Galarraga's not really that good of a pitcher, so he may never get an opportunity like that again. Jim Joyce really blew it. I mean, he had a lot going for him. I mean, he was going to the Hall of Fame. He threw a perfect game, of course. It was to be the first in Tigers history, and it would be the third this season alone. I mean, there's gone seasons where there hasn't been one perfect game. There's an attempt to be 3 in one season within a few weeks of each other. Now that would have been amazing. The next day, they ended up giving Galarraga a Corvette, but I think he'd rather go to the Hall of Fame. I mean, you can get a Corvette anytime. With his paycheck, you could probably buy one if you really wanted to, but I guess it's a nice show of appreciation, right? Now on to my next topic. What about those Celtics and Lakers? My favorite team, the Lakers, dominated in the first game as the rivalry was renewed this past Thursday, sorry. The Lakers were able to prove why they were in the finals. They shut down key players like Rondo and Pierce and kept their stars out of foul trouble. Kobe was apparently the main star. Well, I mean, he put up 30 points, had 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. A pretty nice night, eh? But Pau Gasol really stepped up to the plate. He scored 23 points, had a key 14 rebounds, and dominated the defense by blocking 3 shots. Here's a trivia fact. Pau Gasol, like I said, had 14 rebounds. 5 other players on the Celtics, including Big Baby Davis, Kevin Garnett, and Kendrick Perkins, and 2 other players, had a combined 14 rebounds, which is pretty good if you think about it. Well, the difference between the 2008 and 2010 roster is clear. Pau Gasol's a changed man. He's dominant, he's bigger, he's stronger, and he's been able to dominate the post, both on offense and defense. The second game hasn't been going as well. The last I checked, the Lakers were losing 42-30. I'm kind of getting scared. Well, because mostly, if they tie up the series at 1-1, they're going to Boston for 3 straight games, which means if the Celtics do end up winning tonight, and they win all of them at home, that means they could end the series in 5 games. So the Lakers, this is a really important game for the Lakers, because it'll be really hard to win in the TD Garden in Boston. But I don't like the finals playoff schedule. I mean, it goes The Lakers, the Lakers. The Celtics, the Celtics, the Celtics. The Lakers, the Lakers. The regular playoff schedule goes, if this was a regular playoff schedule, it goes Lakers, Lakers, Celtics, Celtics, Lakers, Celtics, Lakers. That would be better because the higher seed would have a bigger advantage. But, you never know. There's some strange rules. Like baseball should get an instant replay, or maybe football should change to overtime rules, but every sport has its downfalls. Now, also sticking on the baseball topic, Kendry Morales, the Angels outfielder, well, when he hit a walk-off home run, and in the celebration, jumping on home plate, he ended up breaking his left ankle. Yes, people, he got hurt celebrating a home run, and now he's out for the rest of the season, and he's their best player. And they were 23 and 27 when that happened. Oh, it's going to be a depressing season for the Angels. The next day, however, they had a walk-off home run. This time, no injuries. Now moving on to the world's favorite sport, soccer, the World Cup. You know, a lot of people say, oh, football or baseball is the world's national team. Everybody likes those sports, but no. Every single country has a soccer team. There's over 200 countries in the world, and they all have soccer teams. And only 32 make it to the actual World Cup. One of them this year actually is the U.S. Speaking of the U.S., the U.S. isn't really a big soccer country, but they actually have a decent soccer team this year. Anyone watched the Federations Cup a few years ago? They lost in a heartbreaking match against Brazil, where they contested pretty well, but then they ended up blowing the lead. In their group, which is Group C, for anybody who's going to watch the World Cup and root for the U.S., like me, their only big challenge would be England, who's kind of the powerhouse of the World Cup. They've always had a good team. They've always been strong. And the U.S. has always been a mediocre team. It's kind of like Canada in the U.S. in hockey. How the U.S. is surging and getting better every year, but Canada still is dominant in the sport. It's kind of like England. England's a very dominant team in soccer, and the U.S. is getting better every year, but they won't be able to keep up with England. They'll get in second place. The top two teams go to the actual big tournament, but I don't think they'll do all that well. SI, Sports Illustrated, actually predict that Spain and England will make it to the actual championship, with Spain winning it all. Saying I'm not exactly a soccer expert, go ahead and comment and say what you think. Oh, and lastly, my last topic is Sports Illustrated predicted that the U.S. in the first round would be knocked out by Siberia. They play soccer in Siberia? That's news to me. I didn't even know they had a team. Oh, well. Well, that's it for Sparky Sports, people. And remember, go ahead and subscribe. Don't worry, it's free. It's free. It's still free. Price hasn't changed at all from week to week. And remember, people, Sparky loves sports. Peace out, America.